You the teacher's aide?
No, I'm the teacher.
I saw this video on Pornhub, and this is exactly how it starts.
Misogyny, how refreshing. You can work in a Pocahontas joke, you'll hit the trifecta.
Now you mention it.
What's your name?
Trent.
Can you tell me the definition of power, Trent? It's the ability to direct or influence another's behavior or course of events. That's what I have. I can remove you from this class and fail you, or I can send you before the dean for violating the student code of conduct. These are all things that can alter the course of your life. That's power. You don't have any.
Because artists must be allowed to go through bad periods. They must be allowed to do bad work. They must be allowed to get in a mess. They must be allowed to have dud experiments. They must also be allowed to have periods where they repeat themselves in a rather aimless, fruitless way before they can pick up and go on. The kind of attention that they get now, the kind of atmosphere of excitement which attends today the creation of works of art, the way that everything is done too much in the public eye, it's really too much. The pressures are of a kind which are anti-creative.
The most peaceful people that I know and the most wise people that I know are the ones who have created enough internal space to be able to allow all the parts of themselves to coexist despite the contradictions. So they have room for their creativity, they also have room for their fear. They have room for their dignity, they also have room for their shame. They have room for the parts of themselves that are glorious and divine and wonderful, and they have room for the parts of themselves that are petty and jealous and ridiculous, right? Like they create this big, huge auditorium of a landscape inside themselves. They don't kick any parts out, because guess what? You can't. You can't.
When two men mansplain to each other, that's called a podcast.
Last but not least, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting.
Surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. 2, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And 3, the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next, so keep climbing.
And I was once on a German talk show, and if you want to go on one, it's a lot of fun. It's really fun. And I was on this German talk show, and this woman said to me, she said, "Mr. Williams, why do you think there's not so much comedy in Germany?" And I said, "Did you ever think you killed all the funny people?" And
what makes being married worth it?
Wild sex. Sorry, it's kind of a flip answer, but I couldn't resist. What makes it worthwhile? So I noticed in my clinical practice that couples who stayed together had to spend about 90 minutes a week in intimate contact with one another, and also just talking for 90 minutes about their lives, about the domestic economy, about the kids, about the practicalities of life. And at the same time, they wove a rope that was their joint story. And that's something to have in your life, you know, to have someone who you're moving forward with, that you can communicate with honestly, who you can rely on in times of trouble, and to call you out on your stupidity. Thank God for that.
Women have told everyone to just fuck off. Tired of being judged for choosing to have children or not have children, to have children and go back to work, to have children and not go back to work, for being too thin, too fat, too pushy, too unambitious, too hot, not hot enough, or even for just daring to be alive. Women have stressed that everyone can go fuck themselves.
Hitchcock, what is your definition of happiness?
A clear horizon. Nothing to worry about on your plate. Only things that are creative and not destructive. I think that's within yourself. Within me, I can't bear quarreling. I can't bear feelings between people. I think hatred is wasted energy. And it's all non-productive. Some very sensitive. A sharp word said by, say, a person who has a temper, if they're close to me, hurts me for days. I know we're only human. We do go in for these various emotions, call them negative emotions. But when all these are removed and you can look forward and the road is clear ahead and now you're going to create something, I think that's as happy as I would ever want to be.
The more boring you are in real life, the less people are interested in you. So I tell people I have an extraordinarily boring life. It's actually incredibly exciting.
Everything is going wrong. I think I changed my mind again. I'm not sure if this is a song. I don't even know what I'm saying. Everything is going wrong. I think I changed my mind again. I'm not sure if this is the kind of life that I saw myself living. I don't need no dating app to tell me if I look like crap, to tell me if I'm thin or fat, to tell me should I shave my rap. I don't need no radio, no MTV, no BBC. I just need a bubble bath to set me on a higher path.
People talk about, wow, you've had such success and it's just been so overnight and whatever. Well, whatever success I've got has come after like 8 years of just nothing working out.
Something else I don't understand, motivation tapes, motivation books. What happened here? Suddenly everybody needs to be motivated? It's a fairly simple thing. Either you want to do something or you don't. What's the big mystery? Besides, if you're motivated enough to go to the store to buy a motivation book, aren't you motivated enough to do that? So you don't need the book. Put it back. Tell the clerk, fuck you, I'm motivated, I'm going home. I'm going home.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for.
The sexiest thing in the entire world is being really smart and being thoughtful and being generous. Everything else is crap, I promise you. It's just crap that people try to sell to you to make you feel like less. So don't buy it.
Some people don't want to talk about politics. They're like, NATO, why do you got to talk about politics? What do politics have to do with me? I'm not an immigrant, or a black person, or a Muslim, or a Jew, or a gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or a woman, or an old person, or a young person, or a student, or a union member, or artist, or journalist, or scientist, or public employee. I don't breathe the air or drink the water. I don't live in a coastal region that'll be affected by sea level rise or an arid region that'll be affected by drought or fire. I don't like chocolate, wine, or coffee or other commodities that will no longer be available due to climate change. I'm not mentally ill, pregnant, disabled, or currently being shot at, so... What do politics have to do with me?
Understanding how you feel in the face of other voices without second guessing yourself is probably the single most important thing to practice as an artist, or skill set to develop as an artist, is to know how you feel and own your feelings. And the key to that is not, I know, so I know what's right for you. It doesn't work that way. It's just, I know from me. And the reason I chose to be an artist is to demonstrate this is how I see it. If I'm undermining my taste for some commercial idea or it defeats the whole purpose of doing this. That's not what this process is about. This process is, I'm doing me and I'm showing you who I am, and you can like it or not, but either way, this is still how I see it.
Why are you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free, but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group, and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests.
I want to fuck a priest. Catholic?
Yes.
A good one?
Yes.
Looks good in the...
Yes.
I understand. Do you really want to fuck the priest, or do you want to fuck God?
Can you fuck God?
Oh, yes.
Don't you hate that?
Hate what?
Uncomfortable silences. Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's when you know you found somebody really special. And you can just shut the fuck up for a minute, comfortably share silence.
Have you ever had that experience where you have an idea for something and you don't do it, and then 6 months later you see that someone else has done it? It's not because they took your idea. It's that it's time for that, and you can act on it or not. The best artists are the ones who have the best antenna for this material that's available.
If you could leave me with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Make mistakes, but don't regret them. Learn from them. Because regrets are the hardest things to carry when you get older.
Knowledge is power.
Seize him. Cut his throat. Stop. Wait. I've changed my mind. Let him go. Power.
Lower the IQ, the more money they make.
Explain that to people.
Okay.
They don't get that.
Okay. So you're an engineer. By definition, engineers are analytical. Quite simply, if you make a mistake, normally, if you're building a bridge, you're building a rocket ship or whatever, a lot of people are going to die. It's just not you. So you're trained to be safe. So you overanalyze, you study things, you think of all the possible permutations, all the possibilities of what can go wrong. If you do that enough, you'll come up with enough reasons not to do it at all. Just because you hit the send button on the computer, doing the numbers again, that's not taking action. Because taking action isn't doing a spreadsheet. Taking action isn't listening to a podcast. Taking action is not reading a book, okay? Taking action is actually taking action. A good entrepreneur makes decisions a lot based on his gut.
You can decide on a deal in 60 seconds.
Yeah, sometimes less.
What kind of music you got on your phone?
I'm not giving you access to my music library. I'm really not. There's like a lot of embarrassing, very guilty pleasures in there.
Mine too. You could tell a lot about a person by what's on their playlist.
I know you can. That's what's worrying me.
A real collaboration is when everyone who's there is working together towards whatever is the best thing for the whole thing. And whether it's your idea or someone else's idea, it doesn't matter. If you're invested in the collaboration, you want the best idea to win. You don't want your idea to win.
Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you too!
Hello?
Hello.
I know you?
I don't think so.
fucking sense. Life makes no sense. You're on a planet right now. You think you're in America? Zoom out. You're on a space rock floating in nothingness, infinite nothingness, and the infinite nothingness is expanding. That means endlessness is getting bigger. That makes no fucking sense. We all just act like it's normal. Like, oh, everything's made of molecules. Okay. Got it. I'll never think about that again. I'm made of molecules, you're made of molecules, the air between us, it's all made of molecules. That makes no fucking sense. These molecules know they're molecules. These molecules are like, oh, I'm Pete. That doesn't make any sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, and others.
What is it about society that disappoints you so much?
Is it that we collectively thought Steve Jobs was a great man, even when we knew he made billions off the backs of children? Or maybe it's that it feels like all our heroes are counterfeit. The world itself's just one big hoax. Spamming each other with our running commentary bullshit masquerading as insight. Our social media faking as intimacy. Or is it that we voted for this? Not with our rigged elections, but with our things, our property, our money. I'm not saying anything new. We all know why we do this. Not because Hunger Games books makes us happy, but because we want to be sedated. Because it's painful not to pretend. Because we're cowards. Fuck society.
Elliot, you're not saying anything. What's wrong?
Nothing.
This is my dream.
Man, you don't know nothing about Bobby. Don't they?
You don't know about Bobby.
I know about.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know.
How's it be you so dramatic?
Got a thing for you, and I can't let go.
Why are you so dramatic and everything?
My friends wonder what is wrong with me. But I'm in the days from your love.
Do you want a cigarette?
No, thanks.
Something else then?
Like what?
Oh, are you hungry?
No.
I could cook you something special. Or buy you a lollipop. We could go for a coffee and eat apple pie and licorice. A glass of wine. Some fresh air. Come on.
I remember when I first noticed that you liked me back.
And the 5-second rule is very simple. The moment you have an instinct to move, you got to do it within 5 seconds, or your brain will kill it. When you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you interrupt habit loops. And the counting backwards requires focus, so it awakens this sucker right here, your prefrontal cortex. It's referred to as a starting ritual in habit research, a cheat code for your brain.
How do you keep so cool?
Air conditioner.
But you don't know that.
Well,
you're just believing Stephen Hawking, and that's a matter of faith in his abilities.
Yes.
You don't know it yourself. You're accepting that because someone told you.
Yeah, well, but science is constantly proved all the time. You see, if we take something like any fiction, any holy book, and any other fiction, and destroyed it, okay, in 1,000 years' time, that wouldn't come back just as it was. Whereas if we took every science book, right, and every fact, and destroyed them all, in 1,000 years, they'd all be back, because all the same tests would be the same result.
That's good. That's really good.
If you base medicine on science, you cure people. If you base the design of planes on science, they fly. If you base the design of rockets on science, they reach the moon. It works, bitches.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell.
The funny thing about strong people is that they don't need you. They choose you. And if you ever take them for granted, they'll be content without you.
Choose life, choose a job, choose a career, choose a family, choose a fucking big television, choose washing machines, cars, compact disc players and electrical tin openers.
We're born alone, we die alone. And in between, we spend our lives looking for something, connection. That's all we want. Every once in a while, we might find it in a true friend. Many friendships will come only to fade as quickly as a firework, but some, a rare and precious few, turn life up to 11 and keep it there. You gotta hold on to friends like these because, just like air, you'll miss them when they're gone.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Let's dance to the song they're playing on the radio. Let's sway while color lights up your face.
Take me to church, I'll worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that deathless death and good God, let me give you my life. I'm a pagan of the good times, my lover's the sunlight. To keep the goddess on my side, she demands a sacrifice. Drain the whole sea with something shiny, something meaty for the main course. That's a fine looking high horse. What you got in the stable? We've a lot of starving faithful. That looks tasty, that looks plenty. This is hungry work.
I don't know, I don't really live on compliments. Matter of fact, it has a way of distracting me. And a whole lot of other musicians and artists that are out there today, you know. They hear all these compliments, they say, wow, it must have been really great. So they get fat and satisfied and they get lost and they forget about the actual talent that they have and they start living into another world, you know. Money is getting to be out of hand now, you know. It's, you know, and like musicians, especially young cats, you know, they get a chance to make all this money and they say, wow, this is fantastic. And like I said before, they lose themselves and they forget about the music itself, you know. They forget about their talents. They forget about the other half of them.
You once claimed that you have an ability to face unpleasant facts. Is that what you've demonstrated in 1984 by drawing an accurate portrait of the future?
I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
Thank you very much. Do you like my claws? They're real diamonds. It's a present from the devil himself. You don't believe me? They don't believe me.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for having me. one Eminem piece of advice for the kids.
Don't waste your time watching this show.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating.
Mitchell never lies. Don't know what you got till it's gone. I could turn back and to time, make you fall in love.
Buddy, you're a young man, hard man, shining in the street, gonna take on the world someday. Blood on your face, big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. Take it. Yeah, see ya.
Sonny, yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sonny, you smiled at me and really eased the pain. Now the dark days are gone, the bright days are here. My sunny one shines so sincere, and sunny one so true. I love you. Sunny, thank you for the sunshine bouquet. Sunny, thank you for the love you brought my way. You gave to me your all in all, and now I feel 10 feet tall. And sunny one so true, I love you. And sunny, thank you for the truth you've let me see. And sunny, thank you for the facts from A to Z. My life was torn like windblown sand. Then a rock was formed when we held hands. And sunny one so true, I love you.